Now, Afghanistan says it has killed dozens of Pakistani soldiers in overnight border operations. Islamabad also claims to have killed scores of Afghan forces in the clashes. Key border crossings, including at Torkham, have now been closed. The Taliban government accuses Pakistan of repeated territory and airspace violations. Pakistan says Afghan authorities are harboring members of the banned militant group Taliban who carry out attacks on their soil. Now, in the studio with me is DW reporter Beenish Javed. Hello, Beenish. Thank you for your time. Let's start with this because both sides are attacking each other. What are we hearing from both governments?
So, Eddie, both Pakistan and Afghanistan claim to have inflicted huge losses on each other. Pakistani military, which also has released an official footage, if we can also show the footage to our viewers. So Pakistani military says that it used precision fires, strikes, as well as physical raids against Taliban camps and posts. And what Pakistan military says were also terrorist training facilities. Now, the footage that we are seeing is issued by Pakistan's military, and we cannot independently verify, but this is what Pakistan military is claiming. It also says that it killed around 200 Afghan Taliban and allied fighters. Now, again, we can't verify this information, this number, because at such a sensitive area between Pakistan, the border area between Pakistan and Afghanistan, usually independent journalists are not allowed to go into that area. Afghan Taliban also claim that they have captured Afghan Pakistani posts and they have also inflicted huge losses. And their figure is 58 Pakistani soldiers. They say that they have killed. Pakistani military says that it lost 23 of its fighters, and Afghan Taliban say they only lost 9 of their fighters. Now, again, it's all very murky, but what we see right now is it's one of the worst, or we can say the sharpest clash between the two countries since Afghan Taliban took control of Afghanistan in 2021.
Right, because, tensions between the two sides have been going on for a while. So I guess the question is, why has it erupted all of a sudden, it seems, between the two countries?
So Afghan Taliban and some Pakistani security officials have off the record confirmed that Pakistan carried out airstrikes this week on Thursday in Afghanistan, in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and at a market near the border area. Afghanistan says that it retaliated against those attacks because Afghan Taliban say those attacks, those airstrikes violated Afghanistan's airspace and sovereignty, and therefore Afghanistan retaliated and carried out these cross-border attacks. Now, this is just one incident. Since Afghan Taliban took control of Afghanistan in 2021, things have not been good between Pakistan and Afghan Taliban. And our viewers should remember that it was Pakistan that was supporting Afghan Taliban during US and NATO troops' invasion of Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks. But since they came to power, things have fallen out between the two countries, and Pakistan says that militant attacks in Pakistan that are emanated from Afghanistan have killed hundreds of people. And if we can show a graphic to our viewers, and so on statistics also, this is correct that Pakistan, after only Burkina Faso in 2024, Pakistan was the second country most affected by terrorism. More than 1,000 people were killed in Pakistan. And this year, so far in 2025, also hundreds have been killed. And Pakistan blames that these attacks are coming from Pakistani militants that are being sheltered in Afghanistan. Pakistan also blames neighboring adversary India of backing these militants, and an accusation that India vehemently denies.
I mean, that's exactly what I was coming to, because they've released a press statement, right? Pakistan, right? And they are pointing the finger at India. What has India got to do with this?
So Pakistan's official position is that India is backing the militants based in Afghanistan that are attacking Pakistan. India denies these accusations. And Pakistan also mentions in the press release that it notes with concern, these are the words in the press release, that this escalation by Afghanistan has happened when Afghan Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi is in India. And now, of course, there is nothing, we can't prove anything, or Pakistan, we can't link anything. But the thing is that Pakistan had a huge conflict with India in May this year, and kind of Pakistan becomes uncomfortable when a country like Afghanistan, with which it is having tension, is also now getting close to India. But definitely, it's difficult to make up that link.
Right.
But Pakistan certainly is seeing a link.
Right. We'll keep tabs on this and see how things develop. DW reporter Beenish Javed, thank you very much. Now, DW Asia analyst Shamil Shams has the latest.
Well, the escalation between Afghanistan and Pakistan was quite big last evening. Pakistan has closed all the border crossings. It's a very porous border with Afghanistan, and there have been casualties. Both sides have claimed they have inflicted harm on each other. Afghan Taliban said that they killed Pakistani soldiers. Pakistani officials said that they killed the Afghan Taliban fighters. Apparently, the jets were used. A huge military border escalation between Afghanistan and Pakistan, who were allies in the 1990s and during the time when the US and NATO troops were in Afghanistan. So, a very difficult situation, and it is developing still, but it is a difficult emerging situation.
Right.
In that.
Right. So Pakistan claims that the Afghan Taliban are harboring militants who carry out attacks on their soil. How credible are the claims?
Well, Pakistan has been claiming this for a very long time. And then, to be honest, that the Afghan Taliban have not done much about it. But it is also difficult for the Afghan Taliban to do anything about it. There is not big difference between the Pakistani Taliban and the Afghan Taliban. They all worked against NATO troops in the US for decades, and but their ties they're very closely linked. The two groups, it's very difficult to separate them. Pakistan wants Kabul to take a decisive attack action against the Pakistani Taliban, who kill Pakistani troops and civilians on the Pakistani side of the border.
Right.
So the claims are there, but it is very difficult because also Pakistan supported these groups in one way or the other for a very long time. So all of a sudden, when Islamabad says that take action against the Pakistani Taliban, it is easier said than done. And I think there is a lack of will on the part of the Afghan Taliban, but also that Pakistan all of a sudden wants Afghan Taliban to take this action against the Pakistani Taliban is also practically kind of a difficult scenario for the regime in Kabul.
Right. I find a very interesting twist to this, that Pakistan recently signed a mutual defense agreement with Saudi Arabia, right? That's a bit of the elephant in the room here. Does this risk becoming a wider conflict?
For the moment, I do not think that it would become a big conflict, a full-scale military escalation between Afghanistan, the Taliban in Afghanistan, and Pakistan. It might cool down for a while, but it has a longer and possibly more dangerous effect. Consequences of this are far-reaching because I think the militancy issue in the border area could increase, and Pakistan could suffer the consequences in terms of militant attacks inside Pakistan. And that is not something new. Pakistan has faced it between 2010 and 2018. So I don't think that the Afghan Taliban and Pakistan would fight a full-fledged, full-scale war. But the offshoots, the splinter of this could be very difficult in terms of Pakistan having to deal with a lot of militant attacks and militancy issues, not necessarily perpetrated by the Afghan Taliban, but there are so many militant groups operating in that region. This is a very volatile region, and this is a very, very dangerous scenario that we are seeing right now.
Right. Also, before I let you go, look, the Taliban has been pushing for stronger ties with India, right? So what could this mean for Pakistan to have hostile neighbors on both sides?
I think it's a failure on the part of Islamabad's diplomacy that you have so many hostile environments, situations happening in the region with India, first the escalation, military escalation in May. Now you have Pakistan is also somehow we see is involved in the Middle Eastern politics by signing the pact with Saudi Arabia. So if an escalation happens there, Pakistani forces are bound to go and support Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. And now this thing is happening in Afghanistan. So many fronts for a country which is facing such an acute economic crisis, and
Right.
there's so much political instability in Pakistan. I feel it's a very bad diplomatic foreign policy on part of Islamabad. This is a very problematic issue.
Right.
In the long run, it could harm Pakistan.
Right. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out. DW Asia analyst Shamil Shams in Bonn. Thank you very much.